what is the purpose of marriage anyway? Is it so that I can have a great time every day of my life with somebody who's in love with me every single second and just meets my needs? No, that's such a selfish way of viewing things. Hello everybody, welcome back to those who are coming back, and a warm hello and welcome to all my new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, I do hope and pray that this can be something useful for you and you can hopefully find some biblical wisdom that can also be practical in your life. The first video we did was on the importance of surrendering this desire for marriage to God, having Him be the one who leads and who guides. The second video was the importance of guarding our heart, because as it says, the heart is deceitful above all things and it's easy to get attached and just kind of do things our own way if we don't really put the Lord first as our shepherd and as our guide. And I wanted to make another video now. So let's say we've surrendered the desire for marriage to God, we've guarded our heart and all of that, and let's say you're in a situation where you are considering someone in particular or just generally wondering about what you want. What is it that you want? What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you truly say, okay, this would be somebody who's an option for me or somebody I would consider for marriage? And a lot of it has to do with expectations that we have, and attraction is a big part of that. What are we drawn to? What am I looking for? And all of these sort of questions. If I'm praying for somebody with the expectation and hope that finally the Lord will provide somebody who can meet my needs, my emotional needs, my practical, physical, financial needs, I don't know, and finally I'll have somebody who loves me the way I am and accepts me and who's going to take care of me and all of these things, it's me, 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 me. And of course we all know that obviously marriage is not just about us, like especially us as Christians, we've heard that marriage is sacrificial, we've heard about sacrificial love and all of these things. But the reason I bring this up is because a lot of times our expectations and what we're looking for and the so-called list that we have is self-centered. And this is eye-opening to realize because, I mean, I've talked to a lot of girls and it's very common for, I can speak on behalf of girls, but it's very common for people from a young age to start having this list. Oh, I want my future husband to be, tall and handsome and muscular and sporty and good at this and good at that and whatever it may be. And usually the list gets longer and longer as the years go by until you reach a certain age and maybe the list starts getting shorter again. But it's very important, and something that the Lord has really been convicting me of is to wonder, to question in ourselves, have I made this about me? And have I really filtered these expectations that I have before the Lord, or is it about what is pleasing in my flesh? So to speak, we all need to look at this list that we have, whether it's physical or practical list. A lot of people actually write things down, which it's not a bad thing. But if you look at your list of qualities you're looking for, and you see that the list is very long, you have to ask yourself, is this carnal or is this spiritual? Are my expectations ultimately so that I can be better and feel better and all about me? Or do I understand this fundamental question, what is marriage really for? With the correct answer being transformation and a reflection of Christ and the sacrificial love that He calls us to. If I really have this deep understanding of what marriage is in the proper light, then it's not all about me. And if it's not all about me, then my list is not so picky in the wrong things. And I don't want people to think that I'm saying, okay, your list is too long, drop the list. Like, that's not what my point is. There are many, many people, especially young girls, that actually are not picky enough. You don't go for the first person who says, I love you. You don't follow your heart and follow whatever feels good at the moment. Let's say there's a hypothetical scale. We tend to put the wrong weights on things. Like, physical attraction is one thing, emotional attraction, character attraction. These are all beautiful qualities. And again, I don't think the Lord ever calls us to marry somebody that we find very much not attractive. But at the same time, how do we weigh things? How do we weigh things? If I have subjectively a list that I decided for myself, and that the list keeps going longer and it's growing bigger and bigger because I want this and I want that and I want this and that, and it's very particular and things that are more subjective or superficial, I need to realize that these cannot be weighed the same way as spiritual qualities, because physical attraction and other things, you can grow in these aspects. Attraction is something that you grow in, and it's hard to accept that and to understand that, and it's hard to not be led by our emotions and by the voices that say, oh, is that really what you want? Regarding the scales that I'm talking about, how we weigh things, there are things that are must-haves, and then there are things that are also good to have or nice to have, but the three are not the same. And I think we can often make the mistake of equating the three. If I am 55 and wondering why I did not get married, while I said no to every single person that did not meet my 100 list expectations, and then I'm stuck with, oh no, what happened? That's on me. And I'm not saying this is the case. A lot of people have not chosen. I'm not saying that this is the case with people who are single in later years. I really am not saying that this is the case. I'm talking about things that the Lord has convicted me of and that I feel led to share, because I don't want us to have to all go through the same mistakes for us to learn things that other people, whether older or even younger, who have made these mistakes, have already learned. Like, let's learn from the wisdom that the Lord gives us through other people, instead of having to all fall into the same traps. And so it's one thing to say, I will not settle for anybody who is not a believer, who doesn't love the Lord. That is a good thing. That is a good boundary to draw. But if your expectations and your list have more to do with physical characteristics and more to do with very particular things, then go to the Lord with that and say, Lord, what is my point in desiring all of these things? And let me just say this as well. If I find 100 things on this list that have to do with physical things or character things and things like that, I need to question, why do I think that I deserve this? May the Lord rid us of any hidden pride that we have for whatever reason. I noticed that a lot of it has to do with pride. If I have a lot of things that are not spiritual and are more about me and about me wanting to be with someone who is this and that way, that is carnal. Let us consider before the Lord this list that we have, these expectations that we have. Lord, is this really from you? Is this really a non-negotiable, as I have considered it in the past? Or is this something that you ask me to compromise, or to say, you know what? How will I learn to love this person if they are perfect? You won't. And this is an important quote that I want to emphasize on. I really like this quote, and I think we all need to drill that into our heads. How will you learn to love your spouse unconditionally if your spouse meets all your conditions? How do we learn Christ's love? How do we learn Christ's sacrifice and long-suffering and all of these things if our spouse meets all of our conditions? If I have a checkbox and my future husband checks all the boxes, how does that allow the Lord to work in me? Of course, there's nobody perfect and there's nobody who checks all the boxes, but let us consider these things as the bottom question is, what is this whole topic about anyway? What is the purpose of marriage anyway? Is it so that I can have a great time every day of my life with somebody who's in love with me every single second and just meets my needs? No, that's such a selfish way of viewing things. We should desire to reflect the Lord and to have His character formed in us. Paul wrote about how he labors with birth pain until Christ is formed in these new believers. This is the attitude that was so important to him, until Christ is formed in us. We need to have this attitude for ourselves and for the people around us and for our spouse, to ultimately see things with godly vision and not just, yay, somebody cute who's going to be next to me and we're going to take cute pictures for the rest of our we need to go beyond the shallow things. And I'm not saying that all our expectations are shallow. That's not what I'm saying. I hope you understand that I'm trying to be and to have a balance here, because I do believe some people have too low expectations. Like, raise your expectations high, but also make sure that they're not carnal and that they're spiritual. We need to find before the Lord the balance between the two. Don't settle for less. Don't settle for someone who doesn't deserve you, but also deserving you. Like, see what you mean by deserving. Is it spiritual, or is it just practical things because you're picky for things that the Lord doesn't want you to be picky about? The Lord wants us to be picky for the right things, the things that honor Him. If somebody is in active sin, for example, and is in open sin and does not repent about things like that, and the Lord doesn't want you to compromise and say, oh, I deserve to have that. Let us see things with a proper light before the Lord. The bottom line summary is this: go to the Lord. I will keep saying that we cannot underestimate prayer. There's no recipe for how to go about this. There really is no one size fits all. We need to go to the Lord with these things and really seek for His wisdom. If there's someone that you are currently actively considering or praying for, I hope this video could be useful to you in the sense of weigh things in a proper light, with a proper weighing scale, must have versus good to have versus nice to have. But also, ultimately, I mentioned this before in my last video, but it really is a beautiful thing when you can go to the Lord and ask the Lord, Lord, is this from you? If this is from you, help me see it. Help attraction grow if it is lacking. Help my weaknesses or this future person's spouse's weaknesses grow. You can pray for that person. You can help them. If you're a sister, like, one of our roles in marriage is being a helpmeet. I'm going to talk about this in a separate video, but you're supposed to help someone and honor them. And a lot of the things that we consider somebody to be lacking in, we can be complementary to that. Instead of thinking that that person can have everything figured out already and will be a perfect, complete person, it's like, no, the Lord created this dependence that is a beautiful dependence so that two people can complement each other and be a reflection of Christ and His bride in that way. And so let's stop looking for perfection where the Lord is not looking for perfection. He's looking for Christ in us, and Christ is the only perfect one. You're not going to find the perfect person who's going to check all your boxes. And may these boxes really be honoring to the Lord. You can find a lot of people who are going to check your boxes, and it does not mean that it's from the Lord. This is important. That's why prayer is so fundamental, because if you have an arbitrary list of what you are looking for, you can find somebody who checks those boxes, and it does not mean that that's for you. It does not mean that that's your husband, because you're the one who put the boxes in, not the Lord. And at the same time, you might find somebody who doesn't fit all the boxes, and the Lord might be leading you to that person and might be giving you peace to start a relationship with that person. We need to be led by His peace. We need to be led by His guiding. He is our shepherd. We are His sheep. As His sheep, may we continually look to Him to guide us and lead us in all things. Praise the Lord. May the Lord bless you and lead you in every aspect of life. And yeah, I'll be praying for all those who listen to this message, that this can be something that really impacts your heart if you're in this situation and can be of practical help to you. God bless you all.